All right, so the big questions that we're asking this evening before we cut across to our political panel, India's election process under the scanner. Well, it's been under the scanner, at least in television studios where political debates are concerned for a while. We're going to take that question to our political panelists. Congress's vote Chori campaign, hit or a flop, with both sides coming at each other, be it the Congress combined with the India Might and the NDA. Is BJP rattled or unfazed? Is the Election Commission caught in the political crossfire? Let's take all these questions to our panelists this evening. Arati Radhika Jairat, senior journalist with me. Salman Soz, spokesperson Congress. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Soz, let's begin with what happened in the top court today. The Congress has maintained you have full faith in the top court of the country, which is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court today has observed that the special intensive revision carried out in Bihar is inclusive and friendly to the voters. How does that now add up, and how will the Congress reconcile to its claim of voter suppression?
I think what we have to understand is that this whole business of suppressing certain voters, adding voters, this has been going on for some time. This is not a one-off situation. And our complaints, as you know, they're long-standing. This is not the first time we have, raised concerns about how the rights of the voting public are being, subverted, how elections in this country are being subverted. I take you back to 2018, Preeti. In 2018, the Congress party raised concerns about almost 60 lakh voters in Madhya Pradesh in the 2018 election. And by the way, who went to meet the Election Commission to raise this complaint? It was, of course, Kamal Nath, who is our state president, but also Jyotiraditya Scindia, who is now a BJP minister. And what did they say? They said there are lakhs upon lakhs of fraudulent voters. And what happened? The Election Commission initially was very reluctant and said, no, this is not happening, nothing's happened, etc. It went to the Supreme Court, and then the Election Commission had to take out almost 25 lakh voters because they admitted that there were mistakes, and they called them mistakes. Okay. We think that there's a concerted campaign. As far as Bihar is concerned, just today, you must have seen this viral video now with Rahul Gandhi hosting 7 voters from Bihar who are supposedly dead, who have been excluded. And this is just a sliver of what is going on in this country. And let me just say one thing to the Election Commission, to the bureaucracy at large, and to the ruling establishment. You're always asking people to do things, show papers, KYC this, KYC that, show that you're a citizen.
But Mr. Soz, let me come back to the question that I asked you. Allow me to ask the same question again, sir. You have always maintained, your party has always maintained you have supreme faith in the Supreme Court of the country. I would just like to quote on what the Supreme Court of the country said today. Election Commission has increased the number of documentation for identification, which you contested. And now I'm quoting the courts again. Hence, expanding access rather than restricting it, primarily stating that the SIR process is voter-friendly and is being carried out in the state of Bihar in a fair manner. That is what seemingly the top good of the country said.
Yes. We await the court's final judgment on this because there are extremely serious issues happening in the Bihar SIR. 65 lakh voters have been thrown off the rolls, and we've just shown you 7 today who are supposedly dead. So I think the
it's an observation.
Word has not been said.
Fair point. The last word on that has not been said. I'm just going by the virtue of an observation. Fair point. I want to bring in Sanju Verma into this conversation, and now I just want to shift the goalpost a little bit, Sanju Verma, for what is happening not in Bihar and the SIR, but what happened today in the national capital, where your party held a press conference at the back of the claims of vote chori and voter fraud of the Congress party, the allegations of that. You had Mr. Anurag Thakur do 2 things, and we can take them separately if you choose. Let's go one by one. Putting out details of Sonia Gandhi from 1980, where she was added to the voter list, then she was removed because there was an outcry, and then she became the citizen in 83. So alleging that there was voter fraud by the Congress in 1980. How does that correlate, Sanju Verma, to what the Congress is saying today? Once again, we are harking back to the 1980s to try and prove a point against a party's allegation today. How does that even match up, ma'am?
You know, Preeti, the audio is very patchy. I first wanted to make sure I'm audible loud and clear.
Ma'am, we can hear you. If you can hear us, we're going to try and correct that as well. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, Preeti, I will come to every single question that you posed. First and foremost, let me make one thing very clear. Rahul Gandhi's constant argument has been, ये बार-बार लगातार भला बीजेपी चुनाव कैसे जीत सकती है? इसका मतलब इलेक्शन कमीशन और बीजेपी मिले हुए हैं और कोई धांधलेबाजी हो रही है. These are his exact words. So let me just remind Rahul Gandhi, and I have to go back to history because Rahul Gandhi seems to have forgotten his history lessons. Bengal, Congress party ruled for 30 years from 1947 to 1977. Uttar Pradesh, the Congress party ruled for 39 years from 1950 to 1989. Bihar, the Congress party ruled for 42 long years from 1947 to 1989. Maharashtra between 1960 and 2025. In the last 65 years, for 54 years, the Congress party was in power. In Karnataka between 1956 and 2025. In all these 69 years, for 44 years, the Congress party was in power. Again, between 1989 and 2017, out of these 28 years, for 11 long years, the Samajwadi Party was in power. Between 1990 and 2005, for 15 long years, the RJD was in power. Between 1967 and 2025, in all these years, for 21 long years, it was the DMK which was in power in Tamil Nadu. So my limited point, and the first point is that the Congress party and its alliance partners have been ruling different states for decades together, but BJP has never said that the Congress party engaged in vote chori. That's my first point. And my second point, in a very limited, Preeti, I heard, you know, for 3-4 minutes Salman Soz was speaking. Please give me some more time. The other point which I want to make very quickly is this, Preeti. Let's be very clear. Rahul Gandhi keeps saying that, you know, wherever the voter margin is thin, that seat would have actually gone to the Congress, but the BJP won. So let me correct Rahul Gandhi with data. In Sakoli, in Maharashtra, during the 2024 assembly elections, Congress Maharashtra chief Nana Patole won Sakoli with a margin of just 208 votes, defeating the BJP. The BJP candidate did not cry on India Today or Preeti Chaudhary's show. And let me tell you one more thing. That this is viral on social media. 30 seconds more. In 2018, from Badami, Siddharamaiah, a heavyweight in the Congress party, had a victory margin of 1,696 votes, lower than Nota, which posted more than 2,000 votes. Did we cry against Siddharamaiah?
All right, okay, ma'am. Let me come back with a counter, and I'll go back to our panelists then. But the fact is, still hasn't answered the question, but what went down in 1980, what implication does that happen in 2025, number one. Number two, ma'am, is a very basic question. All the examples that you quoted, the example that Anurag Thakurji quoted today of Rai Bareli and Wayanad, you have the proof. Take it to the Election Commission. Then you have exactly the same case that the Congress has.
Okay, Preeti, I'm so glad you made this point. My simple argument is this. Rahul Gandhi has been engaging in shoot and scoot politics for the longest time. He's demonized the Election Commission. Election Commission, 1 minute, Preeti. Election Commission sent a letter to Rahul Gandhi saying, we are willing to engage with you and clear every doubt you have. On the 12th of June 2025, he bothered not to respond. Election Commission sent a letter on the 17th of July 2025. Rahul Gandhi chose not to respond. As recently as 9th August, the Election Commission sent a letter to Rahul Gandhi via Jairam Ramesh. Rahul Gandhi chose not to respond. Are you telling me? No, please. Are you telling me, Preeti?
I need to bring in other people.
Are you telling me, 10 seconds more, Preeti. Are you telling me Sanju Verma, BJP, Anurag Thakur, JP Nadda, सबको proof दिखाने की जरूरत है? But Rahul Gandhi is above the law of the land.
No, ma'am.
Sorry, Preeti, does not work that way.
Ma'am, I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is you have the proof. You're saying that there are bogus voters in Rai Bareli and duplicate voters in Wayanad. Take that list to the EC and say, why are they? Why is there duplication? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that you need to furbish. Ma'am, of course I can ask. I did ask the BJP spokesperson that question. I wish Rahul Gandhi was on my show instead of Mr. Soz. I would have asked him that question. Aarti Radhika Jairat, I want to get you in. And the question I want to ask you is the entire claim of institutionalization of voter theft by the Congress clearly has given a rallying point to the India Alliance. As a political journalist who've tracked, politics for so long, do you reckon this charge is sticking?
The proof of that, Preeti, will come in the Bihar elections, whether the charge has actually stuck, whether voters have responded to this, campaign or not. So I think we have to wait, because right now it's difficult to assess what has been the impact. Of course, the very obvious impact has been that the opposition has united. In fact, after many months of disarray, where we've seen the opposition speak in different voices, we find the opposition together on the same platform. The other thing that has happened for the opposition is that for the first time in a long, long time, opposition leaders have taken to the streets. The demonstration they held outside the Election Commission, was street politics being revived after I don't know how many years. And, that expression on Akhilesh Yadav's face as he jumped the barricades is really worth capturing, because he looked very thrilled with himself. So, I mean, these are the benefits for the opposition. But whether this campaign actually catches on or not, we'll have to see when the Bihar election campaign begins and what the voters' response is. I think right now the Bihar voters are just very confused by this whole SIR that is going on. And they're still trying to make sense, and still trying to gather their documents, and still trying to ensure that their names are on the voters' list. And, Preeti, I think one thing we must understand in all this, that for the poor of India, their vote is very, very precious, because
True.
that is the only tool they have to make the government accountable, to change a government if they want to express a protest against a against a dysfunctional MLA if they want to. So it's a very, very precious thing. And, I think that the Election Commission, the only thing I will say is that the Election Commission has been very opaque in its responses to Rahul Gandhi. Listen, if he hasn't got the proof, if his charges are all wrong, I think the Election Commission can easily, sort of prove him wrong. And that's what the Election Commission needs to do, because you must restore faith of the people in the election system.
True. So that's fair enough. Journalistic inquisition. You'd hope that the Election Commission of this country is going to come out and have a press conference and point by point rebut what Rahul Gandhi says. Yes. It's not that they're not doing it. They're doing it by the virtue of tweets and maybe a press conference is warranted with questions being taken.
Absolutely.
But Salman Soz, I want to bring you in back into this conversation once before I ask you that question. We're very happy to have you. We would have been very happy to have Rahul Gandhi as well. But it's fine that we have you. We're very glad that you're with us. But Salman Soz, the question that I want to ask you is, that atomic detonation that Rahul Gandhi spoke of and conducted that 2.5-hour press conference, where he went point by point. Prima facie seemed very impressive because he was throwing out these names, he was throwing out these case studies, which really made you wonder and think that the Election Commission has so much to answer. And at the back of it, it's not just coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party, it hasn't just come in from the Election Commission. There have been ground reports which seem to suggest some of those figures, some of the data that Rahul Gandhi has given out, case studies, doesn't quite stick. It's happened in the case of the T-shirt that your party was wearing, where Minta Devi was concerned. It's happened in the case of Shakun Rani, where the misuse of Form 6 that Rahul Gandhi spoke of. It's happened in the case of Mahadevpura voter fraud. Couple of examples that have been debunked, not by the BJP or the Election Commission, but even the press. Does that discredit you a bit?
Not at all. In fact, if you look at how much traction this news story now has, the BJP is also now talking about Chori. So we welcome BJP to come join us, and let's get to the bottom of this. But they cannot. The reason they cannot is because they're complicit in this. Is this not the political party? And by the way, Preeti, before Sanju Arba says, you don't give me enough time, please look at how, this is her tactic. She'll always say, you don't give me enough time, and then when lo and behold, by the end of it all, she has taken double the time than anybody else. But let me just say this. BJP has been complicit. If it was not complicit, would they change the law by which the chief election commissioner is selected, so that the home minister and the prime minister basically by a 2-to-1 majority can choose anybody they want, and they go against the Supreme Court judgment on that? then this is the same. By the way, how can one have trust in this kind of a system where I gave you the Madhya Pradesh example. By the way, in Madhya Pradesh, 40 lakh voters were added in a decade, far exceeding the population growth in the state. In Maharashtra, more recently in 2024, you had 76 lakh people voting after the 5 p.m. deadline. There were 41 lakh people voted, 41 lakh voters were added in 5 months. Far more than the 31 lakh voters who were added in 5 years. And the Election Commission says there's nothing to show here. The Election Commission, if you look at what they said this time, by the way, the Election Commission has responded through tweets given to through sources to some media houses. We know that.
Okay.
But they don't have the guts. They don't have the guts to come out in the open, publicly have a press conference, and then refute what we are saying. That is what we want. And I want to make sure that the Election Commission, all the election commissioners, they understand, and all those in government must understand that the BJP is not going to be in power forever. You have to adhere to the constitution of this country, and the people are supreme. The people are the
fair point.
sovereigns.
You know what I really hope, because these charges of time and not so much time, I hope I could have borrowed my time. I'm going to suggest Rajdeep gets a timer on his show. Mama, you'll get equal time. I'm timing it now. Equal time. Go ahead, allow him and I'll come to you. We are all getting equal time. Finish your point. Finish your point.
Just 10 seconds. The point is that when the EC and all government institutions want poor people in this country to show them documents, कागज दिखाओ क्या आप citizen हैं. We want to tell the Election Commission, you show us the voter data in electronic form so that we can all start with Varanasi. We want to start with Varanasi. Just like Anurag Thakur today said that he went to Wayanad. How did he get the data? How did Anurag Thakur,
fair point.
How did he get the data?
Salman Saw's fair point. I want to bring in Sanju Verma back into this conversation because I quoted a few examples to Salman Saw's where the press, including your party, have debunked what Rahul Gandhi stated and the points he made. Sanju Verma, I have enough examples, and let's start with Varanasi, ward number 51, Mahadevpura, house number 60, house number 153, where we have sent out reporters who have confirmed what Rahul Gandhi said. So clearly there is a problem. It might not be the expanse of what Congress is seeming to suggest. They might have got a few numbers wrong here and there. But there is a problem. The sheer fact, you yourself today held a press conference, said that there are duplicate voters in Rai Bareli, duplicate voters in Wayanad, should worry you. You should go to the Election Commission and tell them that this doesn't cut it.
You know, Preeti, now I heard you. And, you know, I heard Mr. So speak for 3 minutes. I will not complain that Preeti doesn't give time. I always say she's very fair and she gives ample time to every panelist. Let me say what the problem is, Preeti. The problem is not with the Election Commission. Election Commission, you know, has been upheld by the Supreme Court, which today said that voter revision periodically is necessary. Yesterday also the Election Commission was upheld when the Supreme Court said that Aadhaar is not a conclusive proof of citizenship. The Congress had its face not covered in a flattering light when Justice, previous CJI Sanjeev Khanna and prior to him, CJI Chandrachud, both said the same thing. How is it that EVMs are working when the Congress wins Karnataka and Telangana, but EVMs are faulty when the Congress loses Lok Sabha 2024? In fact, you know, CJI Chandrachud went to the extent of saying, stop creating fear and skepticism in the country by consistently doubting the country's electoral process. Now let me come to the moot point. When Rahul Gandhi makes allegations, and this is not to Preeti, what do journalists tell Sanju Verma? You know, Sanju Verma, you have to make sure that the Election Commission, you know, debunks the lies of Rahul Gandhi. There has to be some element of truth. कुछ तो सच्चाई होगी राहुल गांधी की बातों में. Now when Anurag Thakur makes, you know, certain allegations in a press conference, even then, it is Sanju Verma who's told, you know, Sanju Verma, if you have the proof, go to the court. मतलब राहुल गांधी कोर्ट नहीं जाएंगे, राहुल गांधी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बात को डिसमिस करेंगे, राहुल गांधी इलेक्शन कमीशन की बात को डिसमिस करेंगे, बट संजू वर्मा, बीजेपी, अनुराग ठाकुर, जेपी नड्डा, अमित शाह, प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी, these people will have a gun to the head and they have to be accountable. Democracy cuts both ways. No, Preeti, my 3 minutes are not over. My final point is this. I will repeat this at the expense of being repetitive very quickly. The In Telangana, prior to 2023 assembly elections, 22.5 lakh voters were deleted. Congress won Telangana, BJP lost. BJP did not cry on Preeti Chaudhary's show. 4.5 lakh voters were deleted in Karnataka assembly elections. The Congress won, BJP lost. Sanju Verma did not cry on Preeti Chaudhary's show. And my final point, in Himachal Pradesh, 47,000 voters were deleted. Our overall loss margin was just 37,000 votes. Did I come and cry on your show that we lost Himachal Pradesh?
But like I said, you said not journalists like you, but the fact is, many journalists like me will say, don't go to the court, but go to the EC. Because if you have records which seem to suggest there's bogus or duplicate voters in Rai Bareli, you need to go to the Election Commission. And I want to bring in Aarti Jairat in, and after that, I will give you both 30 seconds by the clock to make your concluding statements. I want to bring in Aarti Jairat. Aarti Jairat, the fact is, the politics can go on. The Congress has made grave charges, and some of which, at least, is incorrect, the charges which have been found by journalistic inquisition on ground, but some of it is correct. So the onus now is on the Election Commission, which needs to answer on a number of occasions, on a number of questions. And do you think, Aarti Jairat, that the EC now, instead of anything else, come out and hold a press conference where they take questions?
Absolutely. That's what I've been trying to say, that the onus is on the EC. The EC must be transparent. At the end of the day, it is the most important body in India because it is the body that keeps our democracy intact. And it is for the EC to answer these questions. I don't know why Amit Malviya and all these BJP leaders are answering on behalf of the EC. It is the allegations are not against the BJP. The allegations are against the EC. And if the EC is wrong, if the allegations are wrong, it's for the EC to disprove them. And surely the EC has all the data at its fingertips. It can do it. And therefore, I would request, as a journalist who's been covering elections, and Preeti, in the past, the EC would always hold press conferences. They didn't hold press conferences only at the time of announcing the election dates. TN Session was always available to hold a press conference. He is regarded as the strongest and the man who actually put the elections on track. So, I don't know why today the EC hides behind tweets.
No, fair point.
Anonymous
I would think,
stories.
many would suggest, why should the EC, there are, ad nauseum allegations made, but if the EC needs to hold 100 press conferences, it should hold 100 press conferences to clear the doubt. Because it's above all.
The leader of opposition who holds a statutory post. It's not just
statutory.
Anybody.
It's not. Yeah.
I
want to give in last 30 seconds, and I am going to time it this time so that none of you exceed the time. Salman Saws, go. Final comments. 30 seconds, sir. Your time starts now.
I agree with Aarti Jairat that the EC has to respond and the EC has to be transparent. By the way, Prime Minister Modi, when he was candidate, Modi had urged the Election Commission at that time to say that you're a neutral umpire. Act like it. And I think what I would suggest to the Prime Minister is he should now write to the Election Commission and say that the leader of the opposition has made some very serious charges, and we also are concerned about this. And we should do a full check. We should have machine-readable kind of voter rolls, and let us start with Varanasi. If the Prime Minister now does that, that would be one way to basically get past this crisis.
All right, sir. Hard cut. 30 seconds are over. 30 seconds are over. I'm going to reset my clock. I'm going to start your time. Sanju Verma, go now.
Thank you, Preeti. With no offense to Aarti Jairat, she's a senior journalist. She says, why is the BJP defending the Election Commission? Because Rahul Gandhi says Election Commission or BJP mile hue hain ji. That is why BJP has every right to come here and defend its standpoint. And I don't see any reason why we can't defend Election Commission if there are some journalists who behave like Congress's official spokespersons. I'm not pointing at you, Aarti, so don't start fuming. But let me just say very clearly, I have said this ad nauseum on Preeti Chaudhary's show. Himmat hai Rahul Gandhi, you started making those reckless allegations. Walk the talk. Resign from Rai Bareli.
Okay, ma'am, hard cut. Time is over. Aarti Jairat, I apologize. I don't have the time to come to you. I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm sure we're going to get you back on the show. Thank you for joining us, all three of you.